Greetings and welcome, Dark Horses. We got another podcast going. Professor Charles here, Dr. Armbar, Professor Giraffe Crab, Bag of Antlers.
So we thought we'd sit down and talk about some more different stuff. We have been listening to feedback, and so let's.
We have a good one planned today. A big subject, lots of thoughts. Both of us, we kind of brought it up as an idea, and just our ideas about talking about it. We're just like tripping over each other, and that thought process has kind of continued up until this point. So we figured we might as well put it on record.
Yeah. And so we're getting into the Blue Belt Curse, or the Blue Belt Slump, or the Blue Belt Blues.
Dun, dun, dun. All of the above.
All of the above. And so I guess briefly, it's kind of the phenomenon whereby within, usually it's like 6 months-ish, but 6 months to a year, something, after folks get their blue belt, they're gone. They disappear.
They quit training
Jiu-Jitsu
forever. And a blue belt is no small feat. You know, a year, 2 years, 2.5 years isn't even that uncommon for blue belt. So they've put in a lot of steady work, presumably steady, but definitely a lot of time, a lot of effort. And they give it all up.
Yeah. Which is like part of the, I don't know, it's extra hard for me to understand because I was so hooked, because I just...
Yeah,
it became all encompassing so fast and so completely for me. But that being said, I've had a major slump at every single belt, sometimes more than one.
Yeah,
and wanted to just hang it up.
I definitely went through a slump. I've probably gone through slumps at every belt. I don't know. I don't remember specifically, but I do remember going through a slump at blue belt. I think our take on it is a little bit different, but being on the other side, teaching students, getting invested in them, building relationships with them, and then they just kind of smoke bomb is a bummer. I've seen it over and over again. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah. And so, I think the occurrence of it is generally just kind of a bummer on all sides, right? The person quitting loses jiu-jitsu from their life, and that's a bummer into itself. And then we lose that student and all the experience that goes with that. What do you think that number is? I usually say like 85%.
Yeah, I usually say 90, like something higher, like 99-ish% of people that put on a white belt never make the blue. And then, 85-90% of people that put on a blue belt don't make it to purple. Purple belts, it kind of changes a bit. They're a bit stickier. If they get a purple belt, they've probably been through some solid life changes and continued to train. They got married, they got injured, they had a kid, they moved, and they still kept that habit. And I think I've definitely seen kind of both sides of that, where someone's training at whatever belt and they get a girlfriend, they get married, they have a kid, and they quit. And I've seen the other side where because they got married, because they got a girlfriend, because they moved, because they got a boyfriend, whatever, they decided to double down and insist on continuing to train, even if they just had a baby, because they realized that it's important to stay healthy, to continue working on yourself, to continue to grow as a person. And obviously I'm a little biased, I think that second group is like the superior group for sure. But I've seen both sides of it.
Yeah. So I definitely agree. I much prefer that group that stays. But it's a pretty direct kind of thing, right? Like, I like the group that stays because they're there.
Yeah, they're there.
The people I don't talk to, I just can't be as good of friends with.
Hard to like them so much. Yeah. And it's just the facts.
Yeah. So, with that kind of, it is a fairly significant phenomenon.
It's a big deal. I've rolled around in my head over and over again, like how to shore it up or minimize it, or like ideally just get rid of it completely. But that's obviously impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, and I think I've in researching for this and kind of looking at what other people are saying about the blue belt curse and the blue belt situation. The thing that I've run into a lot over and over again from other instructors is essentially what other instructors are telling to their new students, to those people coming up to their blue belt or just new in their blue belt. And what I'm hearing a lot from other instructors is blue belt curse is fake. It's not real. It's in your head.
Denial. Yeah.
Right? Which, okay.
That's one strategy.
Yeah. And it's also only like part of the story, right? Like
It is all in your head.
It is all in your head if you address this problem as you, the individual, right? But the truth of it is, we've observed it over and over again. It's a real thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
But to you at home, it doesn't have to be a thing for you. You specifically, right there.
You sitting there. I see you.
Put that down.
Uh-huh. Don't touch that.
Right. So it is real. And then, I think we were getting into a lot of fairly interesting theories as to why. So
many.
Right.
Can I talk about something I've done to try to address it, which kind of leads into a why? One of the main reasons I feel like is when they start training, they see blue belt and they're like, that's an attainable goal, and whether they do it consciously or not, they set that goal to reach the blue belt. Mm-hmm. It becomes all-consuming. They're showing up to training, they're thinking about it, they're dreaming about it, they're talking about jiu-jitsu, they're super passionate about that blue belt. Got to get that blue belt. Got to get that blue belt. And they get that blue belt, and then nothing. They don't internally set that next goal to get the purple belt, or set that goal to get the black belt. And so what I do is when I give someone a blue belt, I encourage some of the other people that I work with to encourage them to set a goal meeting to sit down with me, where I specifically encourage them to set the goal to get the purple or black belt, whatever they want, but set that new goal. It isn't over with. Just the first major milestone you have completed, which is huge. Celebrate.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think we were talking earlier about a metaphor whereby, the process of going from zero, your first day walking into the school, to blue belt, is something like spotting a big block of marble at the bottom of the river, right? And the process of blue belt is attaching all of your ropes and pulleys and doing your thing, right? Securing that and making your concerted hard drive and pulling that marble up from the bed of the river, right? You give it everything you got, and you bear down and you concentrate, and you put your reps in and you do your thing, and you get that big slab up onto dry land where you want it to be, right? And that's, boom, it's there, it's ready, blue belt. After that point, there's no more pushing stones out of the river, right? At that point, it's not a big push. Now we're going to take that marble and make a statue. We're going to take our vision and a little bit at a time chip towards it.
Yeah.
It's a different industry. It's a different type of work. It's a different type of process completely.
The kind of two things to add on to that. The honeymoon phase is over, and the steep learning curve that you get as a white belt, where everything is new and you're taking it all in, that learning curve flattens out quite a bit. That first major plateau you were talking about, where you don't feel like you're learning anything, even though you absolutely are.
Yeah.
You got that huge chunk of marble out of the river. That was huge. You could see it. It was a big deal. And now you're just chipping little pieces off.
Right.
Step back 20 paces, you can't see it.
Yeah. I think too there's an issue of the rewards and reinforcement change, right? Oh,
How so?
so like a white belt, every time one of my white belt students does something good and I see it, I want to call it out, right? Like great front roll, right? I want to celebrate everything they do. I want them because I want them to keep doing that thing. I want them to do better. And in that very new phase, people need a little more hand holding and need a little more reinforcement because they don't know what's right or wrong, right? They don't know what's a good technique and a bad one. So more hand holding, more reinforcement of the good techniques makes those stick. Right? At blue belt, well, you did a good shrimp. You're a blue belt. That's kind of what I expected. And there's less of that constant cheerleading.
And if a blue belt's in fundamental class or intermediate class or all levels class, and I pair them up with someone, I will consciously or unconsciously spend more time with like two paired up white belts because I know they need more attention. I'm like, oh, that white belt is paired up with the blue belt. That blue belt's kind of got it.
Absolutely.
And I do still check in. I do still try to give both of them some corrections or positive reinforcement. But I'm like, oh yeah, they're good. They're gonna get this. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think that kind of combination of things where the expectations are a little higher, the praise is a little lower, your absorption of technique is not all new all the time, so that curve is flattening out a little bit. Just kind of a lot of different factors are starting to level off, and we get into the real slog of it.
Jiu-Jitsu is a grind. Like there is that. Jiu-Jitsu is hard. As much as people want to say Jiu-Jitsu is for everyone or whatever, it is hard. And at blue belt, people are still, you're still getting pushed out of your comfort zone. You're still getting your butt kicked on the mats. Probably every day if there's upper belts there. Like that's just you put on that blue belt, you feel like you know something, and then you get wrecked like you don't know anything. And I do remember this. I put the blue belt on, and like people would ask me questions, and I felt like I should answer, and I didn't really feel like I could answer those questions in a reasonable manner. And I knew what an armbar was, but if you wanted me to teach you an armbar, I'd push you to someone else. Go ask someone else.
There was a big emphasis when I was a blue belt on like being able to answer questions at least on self-defense, right? Like somebody came up and pop quiz you on self-defense stuff, you better know right off.
Monkey grabs a peach,
right,
and then you walk away while they're laughing.
As soon as I put my blue belt on, I felt like, okay, I've got to have this down. The pressure is on. So there is that issue as well. And like there's an increase of pressure, internal or external, and almost always internal.
Yeah, I guess there's not much external pressure, at least as far as other people, at least as far as the academy, at least at Dark Horse.
Right.
You're just a blue belt, man. Keep showing up. Keep training. Stay humble. You'll get it.
Yeah. Right. Don't expect anybody to be any level of good. I want you to be as good as you are. And try.
Blue belt losing in rolls to white belt, right?
Okay.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm no good because I have this blue belt on, but I can't beat a white belt. I should quit. I'm embarrassed because I have a blue belt and I lost.
Oh, that's the killer right there. I'm this good and cannot be wavered from this without changing my perception of self. There's the killer right there. Ego.
Ego is the enemy.
I mean, I like the expression, stop shoulding on yourself.
It's a shitty way to be, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a big shit and make a mess. Yeah. No, there's no like expectation.
You got a refill there if you want.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Yeah, the ego, the thinking it should be a certain way. That's a big one.
I should be able to beat white belts.
You should keep showing up to class. That's it. That's the only should. You should keep showing up to class. That's
yeah. The classic jiu-jitsu phrase is "leave your ego at the door." I always find that to be like it's a good idea, but it's also a little overly simplistic. I mean, obviously, it kind of has to be. I prefer keeping your ego in check because your ego is in spots super, super helpful. It's what's going to drive you to succeed. It's what's going to drive you to the podium or to compete or to lose more weight or what's going to drive you past blue belt to black belt if you keep it in check. If you don't shoot yourself too much.
Yeah. Huge.
A warning sign. You're not having fun.
Yeah.
You're probably shooting yourself. There's probably a whole bunch of expectations that you've put on yourself that you need to consciously work at, letting go, wiggling out of, juking out, whatever you can do. Talk to yourself, talk to a friend, talk to your instructor. Don't hesitate to reach out. But have fun training. Focus on having fun training is a reasonable jiu-jitsu goal.
Possibly the most reasonable. Right? Because, I mean, statistically speaking, you probably won't have to defend yourself in the street. You're more likely to get hurt doing the training than getting mugged.
Or showering.
Sure.
Driving a car, whatever, yeah.
So, yeah, you do it for fun. Do it because you enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it, buy good running shoes and, keep your head out of your phone. Self-defense achieved.
Learn to see trouble coming.
Yeah. Hell, Corona's on. Just don't leave the house.
Your excuse is already made.
Yeah, it's a thing now.
Yeah.
All right. Sign up for Amazon Prime. You're done. Never have to leave the house. This episode brought to you by
Dark Horse Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. The shoulds. It's supposed to be this way. I think I see a lot of people that do comparisons, named comparisons, and I noticed a pretty precipitous drop off in those folks.
Yeah.
In the blue belt.
So and so still beats me, or so and so's getting better faster, or so and so.
Yep.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
External focus, not internal focus.
Right. Yeah.
I've restarted. The obstacle is the way. That's one of the things it talks about is focusing on you and what you can do about whatever it is. Quit focusing on so and so or what's he said about whoever. Who cares? You can't control that.
Right. Yeah. It's just you. And I think that's almost the long and the short of the blue belt curse, right? Is it's just you. It's your thoughts on jiu-jitsu, how you're feeling about it, where your journey is going, right? But all those things are within your control, and you can steer that if you're recognizing those factors that make the situation shift, that make that change happen.
Only you can help prevent the blue belt curse.
Yes. Yes. I've had this mild fantasy of turning an entire wall of the gym into just those notes, those like 9 things that I say over and over again.
Slow and smooth, smooth as fast.
Right? Just pinch your knees in giant letters. Elbows in. But yeah, get the
Breathe.
exclamation. But yeah, we get like the Smokey Bear up there on the wall too. With the, only you can prevent the blue belt curse.
Right?
Part of that I was looking at was priority, and you touched on it earlier, right? Like a new significant other, a kid, a new job, those life changes. I was thinking about that specifically in regard to like the examples that higher belts set. And myself, at least, I'm a weirdo. I'm not a good example of like.
Granted.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not like
Go
a good
on.
example of life balance, right? Like I had the option for a new job and moving away from the school. I stayed at the school, and I had the option to, a lot of different things came up, and the Air Force wanted to send me all kinds of places, and I had a lot of different things, and just over and over again, I would ask myself, oh, if I do this, can I get back for class in the evening? And if the answer was no, then I skipped it. And okay, well, we're going to pay you $500,000 a year, and it's all the steak you can eat. Like, well, but can I get back for class at 7? Well, no, we're going to need you here. And like, oh well, then no, bye.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me, I did that over and over and over again for years, for decades, for a decade and a half now. And so, in that way, it's not like a balanced and reasonable example of prioritizing life, right? Like I prioritize jiu-jitsu to an extreme, and in so doing, it like avoided the blue belt curse. But I don't know that that's reasonable for everybody.
True, and I think both of us are kind of that same. We're the outliers in this one. Kind of talking about the blue belt curse and why it's been more of an exercise in watching other people and listening to other people and trying to put together the pieces to understand it. Like I remember when I was a blue belt, I had this realization that I didn't care about anything else. All I wanted to do was train jiu-jitsu. The rest of the world could go fuck itself.
Yep.
I just wanted to train. I live on the mats, be poor, injury. I didn't care. I was fine with all that. I just wanted more jiu-jitsu. How could I get more of that thing? That was what I wanted. Didn't care about anything outside the doors.
Yeah. At one point, Erwin asked me, like, I mean, we've been drinking and carrying on a little bit, but at one point he just asked me, Charles, you gonna be my successor? I says, yes, Professor, absolutely. Even if you're poor? Yes, Professor, even if I'm poor. Do not care. Yes. I'm going. I'm getting my belt. I'm taking over the score. I'm going.
Jiu-jitsu. It makes sense. Doesn't really make dollars. It does make sense.
And yeah, I mean, I think there's a distinct sampling error in jiu-jitsu, right? Our best examples have prioritized jiu-jitsu to an extreme, to a level that you're, I don't want to say hobbyist, but that's appropriate, right? You're like your hobbyist
Average
jiu-jitsu
person with a career and a family.
Yeah.
And a spouse and like a pretty full life already. They start training jiu-jitsu. Yeah. This is just not reasonable for them to be there all day, every day. That, as a matter of fact, is impossible.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, for those folks, it takes another kind of layer of analysis to say, okay, I can beat the blue belt curse. I can continue to train forever. I can continue to have fun with this and grow. But I can't do what Professor Charles did. I can't do what Professor Andrew did. I can't walk the same path as, Marcelo Garcia because I don't have those resources.
Can't sell everything you own and move to Brazil just hanging on the beach and train jiu-jitsu.
Right.
It was amazing. Totally worked.
So, yeah, that's a strange kind of thought to go from the far extreme and then have to take those lessons and apply them to everybody. We'll try.
Try to.
Right?
See what we can see. See what we learn.
Yeah. Like everybody.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it, at any given moment, I really, really care about every one of my students. I mean, every now and then there are like exceptions or there's, like challenging students or whatever, but they are by far the exception.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, do you ever get down on yourself about it? Or have you ever?
About my jiu-jitsu?
No, about blue belts leaving.
Yeah. I've had blue belts that I considered friends, like at least acquaintances / like they were still students, and then they left, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like if we're close enough that I like have their phone numbers, like I'll try to get them back, or I'll keep pinging them or something. But sometimes I've like not reached out because I want to protect myself. That is a thing that's happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely do that. I try not to take it personal in that, like, I try not to take students leaving and make me think of myself as a bad teacher, right? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't chase them away.
Yeah.
But still, sometimes, you get that kind of wonder in the back of your head, like, oh, Jimmy or Susie isn't here anymore. And,
Yeah.
right?
Especially after you have the big blue belt, you have the promotion party, and their family comes, you eat food, and you hang out, and you have a great time, and then, poof, the next week they're gone. You never see them again. You're like, whoa, what the hell? Come on, really? Oh, all right. Yes. Good luck out there.
Yeah, it bums me out. Honestly, it's
a bummer. It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Focus on the things we can do to help ameliorate it.
Yeah.
That's it. Try not to take it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just,
The best teacher on earth has had a ton of blue belts quit. I guarantee it.
Yep. Yeah. And then I don't know. I guess just on the back end, like, don't stop giving 100% to the students that are there. That's kind of all that you can do.
Stay in the moment. Connect with them. Build relationships. Your central theme that we were talking about before we started is perhaps a reasonable goal if you want to get your black belt. Is focus on making jiu-jitsu a lifestyle choice, not a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the kind of the golden mean of it, right? Is you don't need to go to the extremes of reprioritizing your life that you and I did.
You don't have to be a world champion.
Right.
You don't have to move to Brazil, sell everything you own.
No. But the long and the short of it is you have to not quit. You have to like take those bad days and say, well, that sucked. I guess I'm going to come back on Thursday and try it again, do it better.
Yeah, I've definitely left. I can remember 2 instances specifically where I left the academy and got in my car and cried. Had a little cry, had to let it all out. Didn't get the win I wanted. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And came back Thursday, and it's a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had those over and over again. I had one day as a purple belt. I got beat up by a blue belt. And I'm just like shattered. Shattered.
You should have beat him.
Right? Yeah, I should be this good.
You should be.
Yeah.
Should have.
And yeah, I remember leaving like, okay. Well, if I suck at this, I guess I'm just done now.
Whatever, man. I don't care.
Quit this shit forever. 6 hours later, I was back in the gym.
2-3 hours after that whole thing, you kind of wanted to train again. You're definitely thinking about some jiu-jitsu moves. Probably ones you could have used in that role. But definitely jiu-jitsu moves.
Yeah. Just
for years, every time I'd lay down and go to sleep, when I started to drift off, I'd start to think about jiu-jitsu and training and different moves. For years, like every time, I'd like start tensing up. Could I be rolling with someone? And, nope, trying to go to sleep now. Stop it. And 2 minutes later, no. Well, we're going to sleep now. We're not choking someone. No one's choking us.
Yeah, the dreams. That's good stuff.
Jiu-jitsu dreams. Make your jiu-jitsu dream a reality.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I used to have that super common dream where like somebody's attacking you and you're throwing punches and they don't do anything.
Yeah. And you're naked.
Sometimes
you're in your underwear.
Yeah. Sometimes
you definitely feel really small.
Almost always. Yeah. So yeah, I used to have those dreams where I'm trying to punch and it doesn't work. And like at a certain point into jiu-jitsu, my dreams shifted, my dreams changed, where I would throw these punches and I'm just and it doesn't do anything. Like, why am I doing this? Is stupid.
I know what to do here.
I'm gonna choke that guy, and it just totally changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah. You empowered yourself.
Yeah.
You felt impotent about something.
Right.
And then you did not.
Right. And it turns out jiu-jitsu was the solution.
Surprise, surprise. Who knew? Huh.
Yeah. I walked around for years and I would look at stuff and like, oh, this too is a jiu-jitsu problem. All right. Take a deep breath, apply the technique, solve that problem.
Oh.
Done.
Yeah. What is so as above, so below, as below, so above, whatever. The big picture, the small picture, what is it that when you zoom in, it's the same as when you zoom out, the fractal?
Yeah.
After a while in jiu-jitsu, all of life kind of seems like part of jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu lessons apply out in life lessons apply in jiu-jitsu.
Yep. Yeah. Did you read Book of Five Rings?
I did.
Yeah, I think it might even be like in the intro, in fairly early in that one. But Musashi's talking about a man who is a master of his way is a master of all ways. And you take that thing that helps you decode the world, apply it to everything, and there it is. And for me, that was jiu-jitsu. So like, the blue belt was not the end. Right? And the black belt wasn't the end. Right? And where I'm sitting right now isn't the end. Like, yeah, I'm going to throw my body gi on in the fucking grave. That'll be the end. But To that point,
I'm alright with that.
yeah.
Huh.
There's no goal at which I'm going to stop.
Let's see, what else?
Yeah.
We kind of talked about this. A rising tide raises all ships, but you can't see it. You know, like everyone is getting better around you at more or less the same pace that you are. So those plateaus are really figments of your imagination or mirages or whatever, because everyone else is getting better at the same pace.
Yeah. So both making comparison that much more pointless and making patience with yourself all the more important. Yeah, that was a big one for me as well. Like realizing, oh, I'm not worse than so and so because they tapped me out. I'm getting good, and they're getting good too. And they got good at Americana, and I didn't get good at Americana defense yet.
That is an area for study that you can get much, much better at.
Right? Pick whatever thing. Your weird little polyhedron doesn't necessarily match their weird little polyhedron. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. What's it? I have. Yeah, I know. How much jiu-jitsu is enough? I think that might be a factor.
All of it.
Agreed. I think that might be a factor. Some of the like professional age students I've had. They almost put a time limit on it. They're like, I'm gonna give jiu-jitsu a solid year, and I'm gonna see what it's all about. I'm gonna give it a good, give it the old college try. Solid year. I'm gonna commit, and then at the end of the year, they look at, oh, okay.
Well, that was great.
Yeah. Do I have enough jiu-jitsu? Maybe not quite yet. I'll push a little farther, get my blue belt, and that's enough.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that quite a few times.
Yeah. A blue belt can probably handle themselves in a vast majority of self-defense situations.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's all they care about, then that's reasonable, except that they're going to get fat and get out of shape and forget all those moves.
Yeah, and stop talking to all the new friends they made.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see that as I know enough. I can handle myself. You can now.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other one, I've seen a lot of people quit when a family member or friend quits.
Yeah.
Even if they're still more or less interested. If their longtime training partner goes.
Maybe it was their ride, or
yeah,
it was the person they talked about it with, or they started training because of them, or that other person introduced them to jiu-jitsu. They haven't stepped out and made jiu-jitsu their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. But not a good reason to quit, right?
No. And hopefully they feel the lessening when they quit, and then they come back.
Hope so.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so blue belts quit because priority, essentially, because they don't reprioritize.
They realize they're still basically a beginner. And they look at the big mountain, and they're like, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think like the sunk cost fallacy plays much role in jiu-jitsu? Like, I've invested X amount, too much to quit. got to keep going now.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah,
I think that might be a big
so look,
portion of the shift at purple belt. We're like,
you're pot committed. Just keep showing up.
Yeah, I think that should be a much bigger consideration. People put a lot of effort into this, and right, that blue belt is not easy.
Mm-mm.
And honestly, it seems like way too much of an investment to drop. Like, and hell, I don't even know that I paid all the way through my blue belt. No, I did pay all the way through my blue belt. Yeah, it was still like too much investment to stop. I've gone this far. I got to keep going. Got to finish it.
How can I keep training?
Yeah.
How can I train more?
Yes.
I'm missing really obvious answers when I was actually at blue belt. You can only train so much, but you can drill more than that.
Yes.
And you can study.
Yeah. Now, do you see an increase in retention for those students that do drill and study more? That don't just grind it out?
I have not tracked it. I don't know. It's worth it. Track.
Yeah. I think I just ground it out for the most part to purple belt. I did a little bit of. Well, no, I take that back. I had one VHS, not even a DVD. I had one VHS, and I watched it religiously.
What was it?
Soneca's White to Blue.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the blue belt curriculum.
Uh-huh.
I would watch that day and night over and over and over again.
Nice. Yeah. No, yeah, I took class and I trained, and that was it. If you consider watching Pride and UFC studying, I did that. And some competition videos, like technical videos. I don't think I really watched much of any of it before brown belt.
Yeah. Well, there were so many fewer of them available.
Yeah, for sure. And I was an awful student. Awful. Just awful. Not a great training partner. An awful student of Jiu-Jitsu for a long time.
Right. Which allows you to pass all those lessons on all the more strongly.
When I see people that are maybe not the best students, I get it. I ain't mad about it.
Right.
I get it. Gently nudge them to, maybe keep drilling that move. You did it right once. Awesome. Do that some more times.
You see these giant bruises on my forehead? You don't need those.
Yeah.
Like, you can just walk around the wall.
See the weird ears?
Yeah, you don't have to make the same mistakes I did.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Close to 45.
All
right. Wrap it up.
So yeah, let's should we just do final thoughts on the blue belt curse?
If you are a blue belt, set your next goal: purple belt, brown belt, black belt. Set technical goals. Learn X game, fill in whatever deficiency you see, and escape. Submission escape, a positional escape, passing, whatever. Pick one. If you are feeling like quitting, reach out. We should have a helpline number for you. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen now.
Does Brittany mind if I throw up her number?
We can ask her. I bet she would not.
We'll put the Denver one location and then the Longmont location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, leave comments, ask questions. If you have some thoughts, if you agree, if you disagree, and you think we're awful jackasses, say that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Have any questions, comments, concerns? Down there in the comments. Let us know how we're doing. Come talk to us. Come see us in class. Let's see. My 5th most common thing to say in class. There's nothing bigger than the little things. And one of those little things that you can do is just dress out and step on the mat.
I like that you have them ranked. That's number 5.
That's number 5. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Preceded by pinch your knees, don't cross your ankles, elbows in, and the 4th one.
Don't grab your foot.
That's probably it. Or maybe it might just be make triangle.
Make triangle. Yeah. I've heard that one quite a bit. Quite a bit.
I said a lot. Yeah, there's nothing bigger than the little things. So just one of the little things you can do is just show up. That's it. That's what makes it happen.
Push through the I don't want us.
Oh, no, my number 4. Magic of no magic. That's it. That's the magic of no magic. Show up. Do reps.
Remember how good you feel after you come to train when you run into that bonk. I don't want to. Close your eyes. Remember how good you feel after you train. And then come train.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. So, thank you guys for watching another episode of the Dark Horse Podcast. Yeah. We'll see you for the next one. We'll see you in class.
Dark Horse out.
Boom.